Now let's get to the grandest stage of them all. The Super Bowl. Flip my page. So I'm feeling good about these picks, to be honest with you. Spent some time on it, thought about it a lot, Nick. Okay? Slept on it, still feel good about it.
Still feel good about it.
Still feel good about it. In the AFC Championship game, I have the New York Jets going to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. And winning that game and advancing to the Super Bowl on the AFC side is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Simple reason why, Nick. I think Dougie P is going to coach circles around Robert Saleh. While you're high on Robert Saleh, I'm not so high on him. I'm not. I think Dougie P is going to coach circles around him. I think the talent on the field for the Jets is going to keep him in the game, but I think Dougie P is going to basically win him that game. So I have the Jacksonville Jaguars going to the Super Bowl. Now on the NFC side, I have a rematch of last year's AFC divisional round in the NFC Championship game. This time, it's in a different place, though. I have the San Francisco 49ers headed to Big D, Dallas, Texas, to take on the Cowboys. And Nick, who do I have advancing to the Super Bowl out of the NFC?
I already know.
I got the Dallas Cowboys heading to the Super Bowl this year. Listen. And let me finish off my prediction. So I have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Dallas Cowboys in this year's Super Bowl in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the Death Star. And who do I have winning that game? How about them Cowboys? The Dallas Cowboys are going to be your 2023-2024 Super Bowl champions. Why? Let me tell you why. I know every year, right, you hear from the Cowboys fan, which I am not. I'm a Patriots fan. I know you hear from every Cowboys fan, this year is different. This is our year. This is our year, right? But let me tell you why this is actually their year. This is the different year. Let's start from the top in Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy is now coaching for his job. All right? There's a reason he fired Kellen Moore. It's because I'm not going to get fired because I didn't do everything in my power to keep my job. If I'm going to get fired, I'm going to go down doing it my way. He's going to call the offense, and he's going to be coaching for his life. Now let me get to the two biggest acquisitions that make the Dallas Cowboys this premier team. And you spoke on it earlier a little bit, Nick. Now let me dive into a little bit more, though. On the offensive side, you now have Brandon Cooks. Okay? CeeDee Lamb emerged as your number one wide receiver last year. Now he's going to have even less attention on him because they've got Brandon Cooks and Michael Gallup, who I'll get to in a second. CeeDee Lamb is going to be a top-notch number one wide receiver. Brandon Cooks now comes in, who's had 1,000 yards with basically every team he has been with. Okay, so many different quarterbacks he had 1,000 yards with Davis Mills. Dak Prescott is much better than Davis Mills. I predict that CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks are going to have 1,000 yards apiece. You drafted a tight end in Schumacher, I believe his name, from Michigan, who I think is going to be fighting with Jake Ferguson as the number one tight end there, just to be a safety blanket. The O-line is healthy. They just paid Terrence Steele. I got the notification
I saw
half hour ago. They paid Zach Martin. The O-line is happy and healthy now. Okay, Tony Pollard is coming off that injury, which sucks, but he's going to be the lead tailback. And look out for Mr. Deuce Vaughn, who a lot of people are getting behind and hyping up as the number 2 running back. Now let me get to the defense, Nick. You spoke on it earlier. The second acquisition that makes the Dallas Cowboys the premier team in the NFL, Mr. Stephon Gilmore. He might be older, but he is still a top 10 cornerback. They now have the best cornerback duo in the NFL. Don't believe me? Go look at what Trayvon Diggs did to Mr. Justin Jefferson. Okay? Go look at what he did. He owns Justin Jefferson. One of the biggest holes for the Cowboys last year on defense, besides stopping the run, which they added Mozzie Smith in the first round last year, so that's going to help shore that up. The second thing that they couldn't stop was Trayvon Diggs would shut down the one side, but they had no number 2. So just get attacked and attacked. Nah, that ain't happening no more. You got Gilmore and Diggs. Pick your poison who you want to attack. The Dallas Cowboys are your Super Bowl champions, Nick. Oh, it feels good. It feels so good.
I'm not gonna lie, I disagree with you, but I do have two similar teams I have. So in the AFC Championship, and I think before I say these two teams, I think they're like everything's gonna work out for them no matter what's going on, whether it be schedule, players, all that. In the AFC Championship, this might sound biased, but I'm gonna say it again. In the AFC Championship, I got the New York Jets going against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I understand there's been a lot of speculation about Chris Jones, and, he's the main guy on that defense. But I think they definitely going to bring him back, especially after winning a Super Bowl. They're a force to be reckoned with, Kansas City Chiefs. And I actually have the Kansas City Chiefs winning that game. I had the Kansas City Chiefs winning that game because of basically Patrick Mahomes. I understand the Jets are going to have a top 3 defense, like I said, but top 3 don't mean nothing when you the number 1 guy in Patty Mahomes. Don't mean nothing. So I got the Kansas City Chiefs coming out the AFC. And in the NFC, I do have the Dallas Cowboys going to the NFC Championship, but I have them playing the Philadelphia Eagles. Because when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, I was looking over the schedule. People talking about, they can go 14-3, 13-4. I don't see a reason why they can't go 16-1. I know that's a little crazy, but if you look at their schedule, especially after what happened last year with Jalen Hurts, missed the MVP to who? Patrick Mahomes. You lose in the Super Bowl to who? Patrick Mahomes. And when I tell you Jalen Hurts played his ass off, excuse my language, played his ass off, I don't see why they can't go back. And I actually have the Philadelphia Eagles winning the NFC. And I have a rematch of last year, but with a different outcome. I have the Philadelphia Eagles as your Super Bowl champions for the 2023-2024 NFL season.
Wow. Okay, a rematch.
Mm-hmm.
A rematch. I don't know when the last time that was a back-to-back. That's got to be back when the Dallas Cowboys and Pittsburgh Steelers played, or maybe in the 90s.
Yeah.
So I think it actually was the 90s. It might have been the Bills and another team. But okay, so you have the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me talk to you about the Chiefs and Jets thing, which I've actually thought about, and I think that while I do believe it would be best case scenario for the Jets to avoid the Chiefs in the playoffs, I think they actually match up very well against the Chiefs.
I think we do. I think we do too. I think the Chiefs only win. I think the Chiefs
greatness.
Yes, I think the Chiefs win in a fashion of the same way they beat the Buffalo Bills that year.
Okay.
You know how they won in overtime off a coin toss? They win off of something like that.
Okay, so here's where I think the Jets actually have the advantage. They have Kelsey, right? But their receivers are kind of blasé.
Yeah.
You guys have elite top-notch cornerbacks, especially in Sauce Gardner.
And DJ
If you can double, and if you can double Travis Kelsey and basically shut down the receivers of the Chiefs, it's going to be tough where Mahomes is going to go with the football.
And we have a guy in CJ Mosley who nobody talks about.
Exactly.
And you
have Quinn Williams up front. I'm just saying the Jets provide a lot of problems for the Chiefs. So, but I like that. So you have a rematch of the Eagles and the Chiefs, but this time the Eagles coming out on
I got
top.
the Eagles coming out. I'm a big guy in Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts
Eagles,
might
fly.
not care about the MVP. He might not care about Offensive Player of the Year, but he cared about that Super Bowl, man. He put his life on the line. They should have won that game.
Yep. And that is why, my friend, Super Bowls and NBA Finals championships are the most important thing in sports, and I will not hear any other reason differently. But I actually do have the Eagles and Cowboys facing off in the playoffs. I just have it happening in the divisional round, and I obviously have the Cowboys beating them. But so those are our Super Bowl predictions for this year.